I come from a small farm town in the middle of nowhere in America. My parents let me take my $1,000 birthday money and gamble it. I went from basically making like maybe 5K a month to like 50K in a month.
And that was all from TikTok?
The real money came from just all these meme coins. Something sparked and I went from making 50K a month to 50K a day.
$50,000 a day.
So I put like $50 in this one coin. I think I would have had like 800, 900K or something like that. I had friends that were millionaires in the crypto bull market. Within 2 weeks, they were wiped out. These governments want control over these currencies. I'm like exposing the whole shitcoin industry right now. I'm doing this diet stuff. Basically, the guy that founded this diet was killed by the CIA.
All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another podcast. And today we have a very special episode. I actually like doing episodes like this because normally a ton of the guests are very social media type guests where you guys know about them. But today's guest is a lot more special and you're going to learn about him today. So welcome, Gavin Mayo. How are you doing, my brother?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
So I'm going to give a quick introduction for the people that don't know you. But you're very successful in the business space. But you decided to suddenly disappear from social media.
Yeah.
And that's not something that normally happens. Like people are normally like, they get famous and then they want more and more and more. But you start getting famous and then you're like, you know what? Actually, I'm just going to delete my socials.
Yeah, it was a bit of niche famous. So if you ask crypto guys, they might have remembered me back in the day. I started TikTok. I had a good amount of followers on there. And then I just completely stopped. I started being a degenerate in LA, was doing other things, wasn't taking social media serious. I was just kind of like, screw this. Like, I didn't really like sitting down and talking about crypto anymore. Like, it was just bored for me. So I just stopped. And then, recently I popped back up on Twitter. I'm not really on any other platforms yet and just been messing around on there.
So I want to go back to where you started because obviously a lot of people wanted to know who you are, I guess. You started at 13 years old trading.
Yeah. It was a while ago. I was about 13 years old and I think just going into high school. I was on vacation, saw a Rolex, shop a window. I've said this a few times to some people. I saw this Rolex in the window and I was like, I want a Rolex. How do I get a Rolex? Saw the price. It's like, what the heck? Go on Instagram, search up Rolex, see some guy wearing it. Says in his bio, he's a day trader. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to trade, whatever that means. I'm going to do it. Before I was just telling people, I was like, I'm going to be rich. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I think when I was 12, I wanted to be like a chemical engineer because I was like just checking up highest paying jobs. And then I saw trading. So started researching on YouTube. My parents let me take my $1,000 of birthday money and gamble it. I ended up doing quite well gambling it. So I thought I was a genius little kid, like trading in class.
This is when you were 12 years old.
I was like 13.
13
I think
years
just
old.
turning right around my 14th birthday. Just that summer, I just grinded, sat in my room, tried to figure out.
So when you're
YouTube
13 years old, you had $1,000 birthday money. You're just like, I want to be a trader.
Yeah, I didn't know what it meant. I was an idiot, but I ended up getting lucky, made a bit of money. So I thought I was all smart and stuff. So I made quite a bit of money and then I actually lost like 80% of it. And that was when I learned my first lesson. I think it was about a year later after I started. So I had like a whole year of making all this money and then I lost like 80% of it in a single hour. And I was like, okay.
But it's funny you say that because obviously being that young and like making money, you probably felt like Bill Gates at that point. You know, you're like, I am a genius.
I was sitting in class, like just thinking like I was such a little head. Like I thought I was so cool because I was making more than the teachers in like a single hour. And sometimes they would not let me use my phone. So I'd have to sneak out in the hallway. I thought I was all cool on my phone, like selling a trade and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, between about 13 and 18, it was just kind of trading was my thing. But I was just in high school. I was a kid.
Yeah,
I graduated high school and I was also an athlete as well. So I went to a D1 school to be a swimmer. And that was kind of that's what I was taking serious at the time. And then I got injured, couldn't do that anymore. And I was like, okay, well,
but that's one thing I want to talk about. I think maybe you're doing well because the market was good at that time. Like, you know how like when the crypto market was just bullish, everyone was a genius, right? Literally everything you invested in was just going up. So maybe you were like in a stage where you're like young, the market's just on your side, you know?
That's exactly actually what happened. I would say everything I've learned in the past, let's say 2 years from trading has been all from past years. It wasn't before that. Before that, I knew how to trade. I understood the basics of it. I was a smart guy, so I could figure it out and navigate the system, but I was by no means an expert. But then I met a few people. What really changed my trading journey, and a lot of people will talk about online, you can do this certain thing, but in reality, once you get a big bankroll, then that's when you really start to understand things. Yeah.
Now I want to ask, obviously you said you were 14 when you started investing. How much money were you making at that age?
nothing crazy, maybe like 5-10K on a good month. I was like, wow, I'm a genius. But
$5,000-$10,000 a month. That's over $100K a year though.
Yeah, maybe less. I think I went basically from, I think I was right about 19. I just turned 19. That's when I started making videos on TikTok. I was in college at the time and I was just like, I need to get out of here. Like this is bullshit. I always knew I was going to leave. I didn't know how.
Yeah.
And someone sent me a TikTok one day and I was like, what the fuck's TikTok? And I just thought it was a dancing app. And I was like, this is
that's
so
what everyone
stupid.
like at the beginning when TikTok came, like, man, this is just.
I was like, this is stupid. And then someone sent me another video a week later and then I scrolled just down one and then some investing guy came up and I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I was like, this guy's an idiot. So it like pissed me off. So I started like checking up hashtag investing and I was like, oh, this app is like, there's tons of guys talking about investing on here.
Yeah.
And it was all kids like me, but I always thought I was smarter than everyone. So I was just like, And the original idea I had in my head was like, I want followers on Instagram so I can then DM girls from my college and then they'll answer this time. Like I was just cause like I was like one of the college guys trying to like, you know, I was just finishing swimming. So I was like, damn, I need to like join a frat or something or do something like be the man in college like that. I wanted to be like the social media guy in college. So I was like, I got to do it. So I just started making videos, had like under 1,000 followers for like maybe a month and a half.
Yeah.
Just every day. It was just, I just understood the algorithm. I was checking it up on YouTube, figuring it all out. And then in 1 month, I went from like maybe 1,000, 2,000. Everyone was making fun of me. And then I went to like 20,000 in a month. Next month was at 100K. And that's when I really started to understand that with social media comes money. Started working with some groups and then I just started my own. That was my first ever money. So I basically went from barely making any money to like having access to a ton. Like it was the most nuts thing. And this was 2021 when everyone and their mom was making money, just buying whatever. And it was just, it was unreal because, okay, so that was good money.
Yeah.
I went from basically making like maybe 5K a month to like 50K in a month.
And that was all from TikTok.
Yeah. Between January of 2021 all the way to, let's say, March. And then in March, something sparked and I went from making 50K a month to 50K a day. And I kid you not, it was literally for, I'd say about a month and a half, I was having 50K days over and over again.
$50,000 a day.
But the reason is I'm sure you guys have even seen recently on TikTok, I always talk about Pepe coin, all these crypto coins and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was madness. So all these random coins started coming out. And since I was an influencer on TikTok, I was at the forefront of it all. And I was getting hit up like every day. Hey, buy this. Hey, buy this. And I didn't even know what was going on. I was just like, all right. And I was just tossing $100 into things and making 50 grand. So I was like just a complete deer in the headlights. And it was pretty crazy because I've never actually spent money before. Like I went to the mall and got my mom like a necklace. Yeah. I went on a little trip and I was like, wow, that's kind of expensive for an Airbnb. It was like $3,000 or $4,000 for the week. But then in my head, I was like, wait, I made 50 grand today. Like it was just,
it's okay. I can pay for it. Wait, I actually want to get into it you're making money off TikTok as in, is that brand deals?
No, it was basically, I worked for this group before. They hit me up and they were like, hey, promote our TikTok, put the link. It's this like affiliate link. And I was like, wait, I'll just do this myself. I'm bringing them all this money because I was like getting really big on TikTok. So me and my business partner where I met through that group were like, let's just do it ourselves. So we did it ourselves. We had a group. It was like $20 a month, but we had so many people that are following us and people were just joining our group to learn about crypto, see signals. And since you could throw a dart at the wall and everything was going up, we had random analysts that we were hiring. So I didn't even know if these guys were traders or not, but they were just buying stuff and everything was going up. So everyone was like, this group's genius. And they were buying it. But like we did help people. Like we had tons of people make money. We had people just learn about general market stuff. It's like $20 a month. So that was cool and all. And that was making like, we had a couple thousand people paying $20-$30. Like that was great and all. But the real money came from just randomly out of nowhere. Just all these meme coins are basically scam Ponzi's. That's all they are. Yeah. But you can still make money with them. And I was just like, what is happening? And it was,
so were you buying these meme coins or were you getting them for free? Because
I was just buying. I was pretty smart. Like I was a trader as well. So I could understand like just price action in general, what's going to go up. And obviously had a little bit of understanding of what's going on because people would just hit me up. Like people knew I was big on TikTok. So they were like, hey, you got to check out this token. You should do a video. And I'm like, what's it called? And then they're like, well, it's launching. And I'm like, let me take a look at it. And then I just threw some in and then it just goes to the moon. I'm like,
you're just getting like free info from people. Cause
people basically were telling me like which ones were going to go up. Cause like basically my clout allowed me to make a lot of money just because they were like, oh, tell Gavin about it. Like,
now, getting onto that, so why did you decide to stop? Like you're making $50,000 a day.
Well, it's not. I didn't decide to stop. It just the market just took a shit. Like it went from I think for about a month and a half period, it was just mania. Like I didn't know what was going. Like I couldn't really comprehend it at the time because I'm like 19 and I'm making just stupid money. And I'm just like, what? Like, it wasn't really registering in my mind until I actually left home. But yeah, the market just stopped. It only lasted about 2 months. I was in it for about a month and a half, made great money. And then I went to LA for a trip. Ended up just staying because I was like, why would I ever go back to college, or why would I ever stay
you're
home?
making like over $1 million a month.
Yeah, it was really not. And the thing is, I wasn't even like, I didn't even know what was going. It was, again, like I couldn't really comprehend it at the time because I've never even spent the money. Like it was just compounding, and I was just like I didn't think anything was real. So I was going to LA, and like all this stuff was happening, and they were like all these people were coming at me. Hey, invest into this. Hey, let me like scam you here. I was like the perfect scam target. Like it was me, and my business partner was 16 at the time as well. So he's even younger than me, and we're just two like deer in the headlights in LA, just like renting Airbnbs, being an idiot. Everyone, I had a few coins. Like I was telling random like LA influencers, and they were like, okay. And then they bought like $50, and the next day it was worth like 50 grand. So I was also loved in LA because I was telling like big influencers on TikTok that you definitely would know the names of. I was just telling them like, hey, buy this coin. That's where I met a lot of people in LA because I even met super wealthy guys, like these real estate guys that were basically trying to like fuck us over. But we told them about this coin, and I think they put a little money in it, and then it went to like the moon, and they made like, and they were like, wow, these crypto kids must be geniuses. They thought we were some like blockchain genius kids, but it was just like, everything was just going up.
Everything was on your side.
So, I mean, obviously we knew things and we were smart, but yeah, like everyone was just on our ass. Like,
what was the best investment you made on a single coin?
Okay, I'll give you the if shoulda, coulda, woulda. So I put like $50 into this one coin. And if I would have held to the top, which obviously everybody shoulda, coulda, woulda, I think I would have had like 800, 900K or something like that.
$50 to 900K.
Like, I was also in Safe Moon super early as well. I was like one of the first buyers in there just randomly. Like that's how I found out about this whole thing. And I think if I would have held to the top, it'd probably be like a couple million or something.
Wow.
So that's shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I think one of the craziest coins I got into that I actually held, because I just fell asleep. It's like a couple $100s to like a couple 100K or something. Like,
wow.
Because a lot of the times it was like $50, 40 grand, I'm out. But like there was one that I just fell asleep, and I woke up and I was like,
wow.
And I was getting my mom into this. I was getting my sister. I was getting kids from my high school. I was like, buy this. And like, I realized that there's no winning in telling people investments, because if it goes up, they're like, they never will stop bugging you after. Because like, tell me the coin, tell me the next coin. And if it goes down, they're like, hey, what's happened to my money? What's going to happen? So like, I just was like, stop doing it. I never tell people stuff.
That's the thing. I always say this, like, I hate giving people advice, because if it works, they're going to be happy. Great. But you really don't get anything. Like there's not like, realistically, it's like, they're just going to be a bit happy and they move on with their life. But if it goes down, you are forever going to get shit on, you know?
Yeah, that's investment advice in general. Or even one thing I've learned in the past 2 years is just trying to change people or giving them advice in general, just about life. Unless they ask for it, there's just no point. Like even my friends in college, like they've lived 21 years without me in their life. And then I come along trying to kind of, like, I was making money at the time, so I was trying to help them until this thing. They're like, who the fuck are you? Like, fuck off. You don't like.
Yeah, I feel like it's a decision you need to make, you know? It's like everyone tries to buy these courses on how to be successful, da da da. All right, it's great. I'm not saying it's horrible, but unless you want it, you're not going to see the result.
Yeah. You can, how's the saying go? You can lead the horse to water, but you can't get it to drink.
Yeah, it's impossible.
So trying to help people and trying to tell them this, to reprogram their mind in this certain way. I think the only person you should do that with is your female, because she's going to raise your kids someday. So you want them to instill your mindset. But everyone else, there's no point unless they ask you to give them advice, because they don't care.
They don't exactly. They don't care. They just want free money quickly. You know, like you can teach someone how to, and that's the thing I've realized. Like you can try and teach someone how to make money, but they don't have the patience for it. You know, it's like one day, and it's a good example. One of my friends says, like, listen, even if I teach you how to grow a tree, it's impossible for it to grow in one day. So it goes with everything in life. You want a great body. If you go to the gym for like 4 or 5 days, you're not going to have a six pack.
Volume.
Exactly.
I'd say the number one key to success is just volume. Like everything that we are about to talk about on the podcast, or I've talked about before, that could help someone, that's great and all. But if they do it for 1 or 2 days, nothing's going to happen. Yeah. I think of actually money making, like going to the gym as well. If you do something for a week in the gym, are you going to get bigger? Probably not. If you do it for a month, it's not going to be much change. If you do it for a year, you're going to actually see the change. It's just like Elon Musk was poor at one point, and he started to get a little bit more money, and he started to get a little bit more money, and he just kept going, and then it eventually compounds to the richest man in the world.
So talking about that, you're still quite young right now.
Yeah, I just turned 22.
22. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So being 22, actually being a bit younger with so much money, how is it being so rich at such a young age?
Yeah, it's actually quite nice because when you're young and rich, no one expects anything from you. So you can be a complete jackass, or you can be like a professional. And so now I deal with private equity and owning hedge funds. So when I tell people about it and people ask me what I do and I tell them that, they're actually more trustworthy of me because they're like, how does this young kid know about this than if I was like 30? Because they're like, 30-year-old guy, he's in this, whatever. But when you're younger, I've noticed that people actually kind of trust you more. And second off, it's kind of nice because no one really expects things from you. Like you're like a Wolverine when you're young. Like you can fuck up so many times.
Yeah.
You keep bouncing back, and then you also have a lot more energy. It's quite nice. In the history of mankind, it's never been like this. Like young kids shouldn't necessarily have money. I think I've been able to surpass the hump of making a bunch of money and being an idiot with it. And now I'm on to bigger and better things. But it's not necessarily, I don't know if it's good for the world or even the economy for all these kids that made a lot of money in the crypto bull run.
Now, obviously, let's talk about money because I think that's what we're talking about right now. Talking about money, what was like the most money you ever lost? Because obviously you said everything was going up and then suddenly you had like a halt where just like things went to shit. Losing money, how was that feeling? Because obviously you're young, you know, you were just winning. So when you started losing a ton of money, how was that experience?
I mean, the thing was, I've always kind of just gone up and I was able to preserve my wealth. A lot of people, they made a lot of money in the bull market and then they were just idiots and they went down. Like I had friends when crypto crashed last May, I told people I actually expected Ethereum to go under $1,000 in like a few months. And they're like, that's idiotic. Like this is when it was at like 4,000, 3,000. And I had friends that were millionaires in the crypto bull market. And within 2 weeks, they were wiped out to like only had a couple $100K. Like they had millions. They had their money in Terra Luna, or they had their money in this coin, or they had their money in Ethereum. So I never actually dealt with that because I was smart enough to understand how the money cycle works and how the market works. So I never actually had any crazy big losses. Sometimes I have down days. Like I've had days with my fund where like we're down like 50, 100 ETH, but even like later in the day, I can make that back. Maybe make like 20 ETH to 30 ETH. Maybe I have like a 50 ETH down day, which is like 100K, or I've even had 100K down days. Yeah. The next day I bounce back. Like I basically wake up every morning. This is what I tell people to do. Like if let's just say you have under 8 figures in your bank account, you need to wake up every day. You know, you wake up, beautiful view. This is me. Push the ladies off, and then you think to yourself, sit on that edge of the bed, to think I'm a piece of shit and I'm broke. That's what you have to think of like every day. So when I was hustling, like that's just how I thought. Because a lot of people make a little bit of money and then they want to go and they want to relax on an island. Like you literally have to think every single day, I'm a piece of shit. I need to get to work. Speed, hustle. And if you do that, it's pretty hard to have like most people's net worth is like a shitcoin chart. It's like boom, 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 boom. But like mine was kind of just like, yeah, and then it like slowly like,
it just kept going.
Kind of just kept going. I was able to preserve it pretty well because I understood. I just really thought critically about like money.
Like, have you always been? Because obviously you said you started at 13. I mean, I don't see many 13 years old people wanting to do trading, you know? So has money like, or this fascination towards success or money always been like a thing in your head?
Yeah. It's being a trader at 13 saved me from being able to preserve my wealth because I already went through that stage of like making a bunch of money at the time, which was. Like
but why did you decide at 13 you wanted to do trading? Was it like did your family trade?
No. I come from a small farm town in the middle of nowhere in America, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of the state? It's just Amish people there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I recently watched
So the latest, I think it's the Nelk Boys. Yeah. They did a podcast, the Amish guys. That's like my town. Like an hour outside of there would be like me as a kid. Like that's where like I didn't live in straight Amish. I wasn't an Amish guy, but I lived close to them. And like, that's what the houses looked like. Yeah. We had electricity, we had Wi-Fi, but like, that's what my town looks like. It looks like an old like farm town.
So you went from like village life, like really village life.
Not straight village. It's not like I'm in the Congo, but I mean, I grew up definitely not wealthy. Obviously I wasn't in the streets or anything. I had food to eat. There was no such thing as a millionaire in my town, but I was always instilled with something. I don't know if it was genetics or ever since I was a kid. Like I was always really bad. I got kicked out of preschool when I was little. I was always questioning why this, why that. I think actually when I was in like first grade, I was technically autistic by the school standards. They thought I was retarded, so they used to send me with these kids. Like the retarded kids. And I was like,
they sent you with the retarded kids.
I literally was with them for like 6 months. And then they made me take an IQ test and they started like testing me a little bit more. I don't know why they didn't do this in the first place. And then I remember my mom telling me this story, like when I was older in high school. She was like, yeah, like I got a call from the school and they said that you weren't retarded. And I was like, thank God. Like,
like, yo, you didn't know I wasn't, like, how could you just
this is for like 6 months in first grade. But it's because I think my parents told me I don't remember this, but I think I used to fail tests on purpose. Like I was just a little kid. Like,
yeah,
I was always getting in trouble. They said I had ADHD. They tried to medicate me. Luckily, my parents didn't allow it. But I was just super rambunctious, super bad, couldn't pay attention, sometimes would act stupid. I don't know if it was because I was just trying to be annoying or I just didn't understand things at the time. But I was always instilled with thinking differently. You know, all the times in class, like even I remember learning cursive in second grade. I was like, but why are we learning cursive? Because I remember asking my sister, in middle school, do we have to write in cursive? And she's like, no. And I was like, so why are we learning? I kept always asking the questions. And the kids that were like, bro, stop, or it's not that big of a deal. Like, why you keep asking or stop being bad, are the kids that they're just sheep. They don't think for themselves. You have to develop that internal voice, because the reality is I'd say most of the world, I know they say the average IQ is over 100, but I'd say most of the world has a very, very low IQ. And you're like a blank canvas when you're born. So everything from the age of 0 onwards is programmed in your mind. So if you're learning from all these idiots, you're going to be an idiot. So you have to be able to resist and take.
You know, that's something that even worries me. Like nowadays, like with social media being so present, like, you know, sometimes you see people arguing about the dumbest things online. And like, I've realized there's more retards in the world than there are smart people in the world, genuinely. But sometimes it worries me. I'm like, if you can't convince the retards, you're just going to be, you know, like you're going to be.
The thing is, you can be stupid and still be successful, but it's just certain poison into people's minds. And it's all mindset at the end of the day. Like people all over social media are just, yeah, you're right. They're just arguing about the stupidest stuff. And a lot of people will say things on social media. Like they'll see someone, they'll be like, oh, I should follow this guy. He's wealthier. He does this. But a lot of these influencers or whatever, they don't care. They're saying stuff to get views at the end of the day. So a lot of stuff they're saying is just wrong. I see a lot of money advice out there. I see a lot of people that are considered successful, like older rich guys that say advice about something. I'm just like, just completely wrong. We're in a new day and age, but they're just saying things so they can rub people's head and allow them to think like, yeah, that's nice. I could just go to the sauna and I could just sit back and watch the sun over the buildings over there and sit on the beach. And a lot of people have this idea that they just want to make money and then retire and sit on the beach. Like that's what a lot of people teach out there, is just make this money, invest in your 401k, do this. And I don't want to sound cliche because everyone's like, oh, that's bullshit, don't do that. Now everyone's figured that out. But even the money advice they give now, it's just all like,
it's like even most, like, I guess for a period of time, all these like trading videos or like, you know, these advertisements, like you want to sit on the beach with your laptop making 50K a day and all you have to do is press one button that copies my trades, or just like complete bullshit advice to make that.
It's marketing, but you have to be smart enough to decipher marketing. For every video I watch on social media, I'm like, okay, this person's either smart or he's saying this for this reason, or I'm like not watching it like mindlessly being like scrolling. Like and TikTok is the most dangerous, because sometimes I'm like scrolling on TikTok just for work or something, just to find something, and then I'm like, and then something comes up and then I'm watching like a cat on a table and I'm like back to work. Like it's so a lot of people just watch mindlessly. You have to like really, I'd say it's just critical thinking at the end of the day. Like I said, ever since you were a kid, you were programmed to think in a certain way, like from the bed you sleep in, to the movies you watch, to the news that you consume, to the music that you listen to, even the littlest thing. Like people call me crazy, or I have a few ideas about just I'll give you a few examples of just little things that you would never think of that I think is just programming people's minds and they need to stop. Like listening to music. I think it's like a CIA operative to infect people's mind. Just think about it. You're listening to someone rap about sex, drugs, all this different stuff. Like, what do you think's going to really happen if you really listen to the words? Who runs the music industry? The same people that run the news outlets, the same people that run this. Same with movies. Have you ever actually watched a movie and sat down and been like, okay, that scene was interesting. Why that? Who runs Hollywood? Who runs all this stuff? It's all just to implant a certain way of thinking into people's brains. Yeah. Like even the Rockefellers, I don't want to get all conspiracy crazy stuff. They designed the school systems just to keep people smart enough to work. I'm sure you've heard that a few times where, oh yeah, the school is designed to keep workers, but it really is. They don't want people to actually think for yourself. So when I'm in second grade, like, why are we learning cursive? I'm like the only one saying that. Everyone's like, you're being crazy. You're not being crazy. You have to question everything, because since birth, just everything's bullshit.
Yeah, but I feel like it's more and more people are realizing, but also I'm saying that I think like back in the day, ancient Rome, I think even to control society, they had the I guess those like fights or whatever they used to do just to entertain people enough where they wouldn't try and like take over the government.
Yeah.
So basically they'd provide free entertainment for people just so they don't question who's running it. Just, you know, so same with music and stuff. They're just giving you entertainment, keeping
Sporting
you happy,
events.
sporting events.
Let me just
concerts.
wear some guy's last name on my back. That's not weird or anything. Let me just promote his legacy. Like I have issues with all this stuff. I don't like movies. I don't like music. I don't like sporting events. I don't see a point of it, but it's kind of hard to, once you kind of take that red pill, like you feel like a crazy person sometimes because everyone else is like, bro, just listen to the Cardi B. It's fine.
Here's a conspiracy theory I have. And I'm really happy that you're talking about everything like a bigger picture, right? Because you're into crypto, right?
Yeah.
So I was huge into crypto as well. Like, Bitcoin, you know? I like till now, I'm always like, Bitcoin. But here's my theory. All right. You tell me if you think I'm wrong. Because, you know, when crypto came out, everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is the savior. We're going to be free. I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, I've heard this a few times, and
I think we got sold the dream by the governments. It's like, I feel like, look, like theoretically, obviously, I'm being a conspiracy theory right now. Government's always trying to control you. You saw Corona. I don't want to talk about it. Whoa, you know. But the next step is, in my opinion, money. What's the only way people are kind of free? Because you can go around with cash and spend it, and they don't really have control in it, right? And I guess they tried credit cards, but obviously that's still cash in a credit card that you can still take out. But if all our money gets put into cryptos, and right now I think, and here's the thing, all right, I'm trying to work with the matrix right now. Like, I'm trying to think how they think, and I'm going with it because I still want to win.
Yeah, don't go against the grain.
Don't go against them. Like, win with them, you know? Like, figure out.
They don't want you to win, but there is room for you to come in and
you know, like I always say this, you know how people are like, oh, break the matrix, break the box. No, let me try and at least fill up the box, at least to get as high up as I can before I think about exiting. Like, you need to climb the ladder before you think how to get out, you know? So my theory with the whole crypto, and you tell me if you agree, I feel like they want Bitcoin to go up. They want Ethereum. They want these things to do well. And then at one point, they're just going to say, hey, we have our own USD coins and we're going to ban Ethereum or just make it do really bad. And, you know, people are going to have their money in crypto and they'll just shift it to like US dollar coin, like the official government coin. And then all your money's in crypto. You can never take it out. It's always governed. They always see what's happening. And that's like ultimate control.
So here's how I see the future. And you're right. It could have been a government agency created Bitcoin. I mean, it started after the 2008 financial crisis. So maybe there was actually someone trying to do good. Be like, we need a decentralized monetary system.
And they just took over.
Or it could have been Putin, like some people say, or it could have been some government, whatever.
No, I don't mean Bitcoin necessarily as in Bitcoin itself. I just mean, I think maybe, yes, someone that actually wanted to beat the system made it. But obviously, the governments are not stupid. They see that and they take control of it. Like,
well, here's the beauty of Bitcoin. It was beautifully constructed that no single person got to really take a high stake position. So right now, if the government wants to try to take control of Bitcoin, they're just going to be upping the price and giving everyone else even more money. So they've definitely, that's why I think Bitcoin, like back in the day, I was thinking we could have seen under 10K Bitcoin like a few months ago, guys. I was like, these governments want control over these currencies. They're going to want to take Bitcoin to a certain level that then they can create a big stake in. So we could still see that. Who knows? You have to think, like, if these governments don't have control over, that's why we saw 68K Bitcoin in the last bull run, because all the hedge funds, sovereign funds, the governments, they FOMO'd in. They were like, damn, we can't let this, we need control. So they just FOMO'd in and then they basically nuked the markets. But I think Bitcoin is the last savior. I think Bitcoin is beautifully constructed in a way. It's proof of work. So it's not proof of stake like Ethereum now changed it. So proof of work consensus mechanism. Like, if you own your coins, you own your coins. No one can pledge Bitcoins to the network and control it. They've already tried to create a new Bitcoin, whatever it is, and it just hard forks. You can't mess with the networks. There's already been improvements. There's already been bugs already debugged, whatever it is. Now Ethereum, on the other hand, is now proof of stake. So whoever pledges the most ETH coins to the network controls it. And why do you think the World Economic Forum is always pushing Ethereum? And what about all these other coins, Chainlink, all these random coins? They're all just scam Ponzi's at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, in the future, we will have the Swiss franc, Chinese yuan, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
The people that will be free are the people that are going to be able to get into things like Bitcoin. Maybe you have some of your money all over the place, but it doesn't matter what currency they decide to create. Like, I'm going to have.
No, and I agree with what you say. Like, that's what I think. I do think Bitcoin's going to do well. I think that's one of the only ones that'll do well. But I think the government
stood the test of time.
Yeah, but I think the governments want it to do well because of these other. They want their, like you said, the central bank coin, whatever it's going to be, or the China. So I think for them, this does well. Great. Everyone has their money in crypto, and great. Bitcoin does well, but we'll force them to like try and put a bit of their money into our coins.
They know they can't really stop it at this point because they've tried to. They banned Bitcoin mining in China. I think they banned Bitcoin outright in Nigeria, and all that happened was it traded at a higher price.
Yeah.
Like a few months ago, Bitcoin was going for like 50 or 60K in Nigeria because you can't get it there. So people are paying a premium. So they could try to ban it, and they just know that all it will do is make it more valuable.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to go along with the grain, but they also are planting seeds and trying to get people out and trying to get that big stake. Because let's be real, the government sold like 10,000 Bitcoins or something a few months ago and crashed the market for like a week. That like you can see the government.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to take more control of it. All right, let's just buy more, and then at least that way, once everyone has their money in crypto, we have a huge, like kind of like gold. How governments have a huge gold reserve.
It's basically digital gold, and Bitcoin is beautifully constructed, and there is only 21 million coins, and it definitely is the future, hopefully. But who knows? Anything can happen.
So moving on, obviously, you said you have a fund right now.
Yeah.
When did that start?
Yeah, so I basically found an edge in the market. So trading is where you try to, let's just say you buy something for $100 and you sell it for $110. You made 10%.
Yeah.
You made $10.
Yeah.
So that's the simplified version. There's different indices in trading. So there's Forex, you can trade Apple stock, you can trade crypto market like Bitcoin. It's all the same. I found an edge in a market that no one really talks about. You know how we talked about meme coins?
Yeah.
Everyone buy, hold to the moon.
Yeah.
I started to actually trade them in a mathematical way, in a smart way. So I'm trading against absolute retards. So I was able to clean up on the market. So ever since about November, I went full time into trading shitcoins. Like no one else is doing this. So there's no hedge funds that are competing with you. There's no sovereign funds. The only people you're competing against, it is my job to wake up every day and go take money from degen idiots. Like that's why they're so easy to make money in the market.
That's like everyone in the shitcoin industry anyways.
So I don't know when this will come out, but yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I should even be talking about it because it's like an edge. No one is doing what I'm doing in the market. Like I'm legit trading them. I'm in these coins for like 15, 20 seconds sometimes. I'm able to like do wallet research. I'm able to snipe coins at launch. I have a bunch of different strategies I use. And because it was such a printer, I think around, what was it, January or February, I had like one or two guys that I was just, good friends, and they were like I was printing money, and they were like, you should trade for me. And I was like, I just get bored sometimes. So I had fun. I traded for them. I made them a ton of money. And then they were like, bro, you should make a fund. I have like 5 other guys that want to get into it. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And there's enough liquidity in the crypto market that, okay, let's just say shitcoins dry up. I can still trade ETH and Bitcoin. I can still trade altcoins. There's billions of dollars in there. So if there's no play, there's plays every day. But if the shitcoin market dries up, my fund will just invest in things like ETH, Bitcoin, altcoins, a bunch of random stuff. I'm big on ENS, so I invest in NFTs and ENS with the fund as well. But yeah, I basically just go in every day and I trade them in a smart way. And there's no competition because no smart money has entered the space.
Do you have like private groups where you like pump them, or it doesn't matter for you?
No, I'm the only trader in the world that makes money that is not insider and is not just gambling. Because all these people that are making money are doing it's all scam devs. Like there's like every coin you ever, if you go on right now, you can go on Dextals and see all the coins launching. Every coin you see that does well is made by like 5 of the same devs. They're all the same scammers over and over again.
Yeah, they just pump another one.
They pump and then they dump. So I'm the only one that can make money without that insider knowledge of knowing the coin, because I'm using a little bit of psychology. I'm using trading skill to like get in and out. I'm super fast. I manually trade. I have bots, etc. And yeah, I don't use any insider knowledge. I don't really post them. Obviously I have a group and I talk about coins in it sometimes. Like I made some people some money.
But you're saying you use bots. What do these bots do?
Well, I have a sniper bot, a custom bot. So let's say a coin just launches. If you were the first buyer of that coin, anybody that buys on top of you, it's a Ponzi. So you're going to make money after that. Yeah. So I'm sniping these coins right as they launch, and I'm using a bot to get in faster than other people.
How do you know what's the next good?
You don't. So sometimes I have a strategy. I'll go ahead and share it here, where it's like throwing darts at the wall. So let's say 100 coins launch within the week. One of them goes to the moon. All the darts that I threw, let's say I put 0.1 ETH, which is like $180 right now, into every single one of those coins. 99 of them went to zero. I lost, 9 ETH?
Yeah.
I don't know, do some math. 9 ETH. What about the one that went to the moon. That point one, I actually did this. I was doing this for a month when the meme coins were hot. That one that went to the moon was Mon coin. I made like 260 ETH on it. I turned point one into like 260 ETH. I sniped Pepe actually. I was in Pepe. I obviously sold for a bit of profit. I didn't hold the whole way up, but if I would have held, I would have had my $500 would have been like 2.2 million or something like.
Yeah.
But yeah, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
So you invest pretty much every single shitcoin.
Not as much now because the market has dried up a bit. Now it's more like I change strategies every week.
When's your like exit? So like I put in 9 ETH. So if that one goes to like 20, I'm out. Like is there like a percentage?
No, I'm not greedy at all. So a lot of people, they want to hold to the moon. They'll put 1 ETH in and they'll try to get 9x. I'm putting 10 ETH in and I'm trying to make 10%. I'm making ETH amount. Yeah. Like in 20 seconds. So I'm just trading things with if there's a lot of volume in a coin, I'm in it and I'm going to make a bunch of money. Like I'm just trading in and out. I'll go for like some of my friends laugh at me sometimes. Like I'm going for like 0.1 profit here. I'm going for like 0.3 profit here, but it adds up at the end of the day. I can finish a day and be 10 to 20 ETH in profit. Anywhere from 20 to 50K is the average day. Sometimes I have a really good day and I'm over 6 figures, but that compounds in the fund. And I mean, the fund is over 7 figures now. And, I'm basically beating every other hedge fund in existence, like even private hedge funds. Like I've had 100% months on some wallets. So,
double money in a month.
Yeah, but I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope alt season comes because I'm going to kill it with alt season. But yeah, I basically just found an edge in a market that no one talks about. And hopefully by the time this podcast is out, they're kind of just dried up and done with. So
you're like,
people can try to do the same thing, but I'll be out of the market by then.
And the thing is, I think obviously you doing it, you know when to get in, when to get out. But no, my question was, you know how you said like you might have like 10 coins or 90 coins that do bad, and that one coin will save those 90 losses. Like, so how do you calculate that? Because you're down.
That's just one strategy.
So so that's like you have a strategy.
That's not just what I do mainly. Like I'll do a bunch of stuff. Sometimes because you can see all the people buying a certain meme coin on the side. You can track their wallet address. You can see how much ETH is in their wallet. You can see the coin they bought before. You can see how much they have of the coin currently.
Yeah.
So I can just go through and I'm very quick with it. I'm very good at wallet tracking and understanding. Like I can see devs dumping sometimes, and I'm like, okay, the dev is dumping. This coin is going to rug and it's going to go to zero. Or I can see the devs planting little seeds. So sometimes I go through and I look at wallet track and I'm like, okay, they're starting to buy from this wallet, and this wallet funded this, and then I go down the rabbit hole. I'm like, this is a dev wallet. And then I'm like, why is the dev buying? Because they're about to rerun the coin again. And then I'm slowly and then sometimes I'll slowly go in from like 4 or 5 different wallets. And some people try to track some of my wallets because I do quite well in them. But that's another way I do quite well is I'll trade a wallet. I'll do very well in it. People will start to, I'm sure you've seen all these TikTok videos. People like, hey, do you want to make money in meme coins? Just track whale wallets, because I'm trading with big wallets.
Yeah.
I have over 7 figures in the fund. So I have some big wallets and have ENS names attached with it. So people think it's some whale. It's just me. And I make the wallet do very well. And then people start to track it. And then I just start buying random coins and I just dump on anybody that buys after me. So that's another strategy I use. Is
just have a huge wallet.
Just taking advantage of people trying to make a quick buck by tracking my wallet. I get the wallet doing really well. And then I just there's one wallet that every time I buy, I have bots attached to it where those bots buy as well. So I'll buy a coin and then they'll buy on top of it. And it's just free money every time. So that's another thing.
So you said you track other whales' wallet. Like, what's the biggest whale?
No, people track other whales' wallets.
Oh, okay.
But I'm like, I have whale wallets. People would consider my wallets as whale wallets. So when they see me buy stuff, they're like, oh, he must know something. But I'm just.
But how do you find the wallets of these devs or these other whales?
Well, one easy way to do it is you just click on the wallet on the side, and then you can see what's in that wallet. Okay, just that coin. Obviously, that's an insider dev wallet. That's like an easy way to do it, but a harder way to do it. Sometimes these devs are tricky and they have they sometimes send coins from one wallet to the next wallet with some money in it. Or basically when you launch a coin, you would think that a bunch of people are buying in the beginning. The only people buying in the beginning is the dev from 40 different wallets that they've already planted, and they're called warmed up shitcoin wallets. I'm exposing the whole shitcoin industry right now.
You're exposing the whole industry right now.
So these shitcoin wallets that are warmed up, they look like a regular person and like some kid in their bedroom buying the shitcoin, but it's really just the dev. But there's a bunch of transactions and random coins that they bought. Like to warm up a shitcoin wallet, these devs will buy random coins for weeks. So it looks like a shitcoin buyer. But little do they know at launch, there's 40 of these warmed up wallets and they just snipe their own launch and they buy with all these wallets. So then at the top when they're selling, you're like, oh, this isn't a dev wallet. This is just a random shitcoin buyer, but it's just the devs dumping on your head.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, I'm like, all these coins are scam Ponzi's at the end of the day. There's no such thing as utility in crypto. It's all scams, which is fine. I don't care. You have to respect it. It's crypto.
Respect the scam.
You gotta, yeah, you can make money from it. Like I don't give a shit. Like I get rugged all the time. Like sometimes I'll buy a coin and it will just go straight to zero, and I'm like, damn, lost an ETH. Like it's funny. Like I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm the guy on Twitter that just like doesn't care. Like I laugh about it sometimes, but other people on Twitter crying, this developer like rugged me and they did this. And like, bro, you're buying a coin called Tits Coin. Like, what do you think's gonna happen?
You thought they're gonna respect you?
Yeah, no, it's all just one big Wild West market of just scammers but I'm there to take advantage of it and just.
Now, have you ever been scammed? Like maybe someone you know told you buy this coin?
Oh yeah. I've had like, I've been in like group chats before where like some guy like blatantly was like, buy this, it's going up. And then like 2 minutes later, just pull liquidity. I'm just like, LOL. Like,
oh, wait.
Yeah. Like,
so what's the most you've been scammed for?
Oh, what was it? There was this one coin I just got clapped on. And okay. So opportunity cost wise, I was in this one coin and I was like really, really early buyer. And this is the one that I really liked. Like when I like something, I'll hold it. Mostly I'm in and out, but I was like, this is sick. So I was holding it. And I was going to be up like 300, 400 ETH. So I was like, nice. Like, yeah, this is great. And then they just rugged it, just like pulled the liquidity and just poof. Like I put like maybe 20, 30 ETH in it. But I was more mad because I was trading that with the funds. So I was like, fuck. Like, I'm like, when I lose my own money, it's fine. But and if I lose other people's money, I have to like grind it back. I've never had a wallet that's gone down with the funds. So we've only been green. So yeah, it's been good so far. But yeah, I mean, I've had friends that have been not scammed by crypto, but just scammed by, don't go to LA. If you ever want to get scammed, go to LA. But LA is just full of scammers and just bad people. But I had a friend get scammed over $1 million in 1 month just from like 3 separate people in LA. Like it's just, no way. It's the worst place.
But how? Like, I just want to know how did it happen? I just want like people to know. So if you watch,
I don't think you would care if I shared this, but because it's the funniest story. I could tell this story. It'd probably be a 30-minute story, but basically this guy in LA posed to be a Saudi prince trying to do like Bitcoin for wire. And like he lived in our building and like we used to go out to hookah with him and we were like, surely he can't scam us because he lives in our building. And like I basically figured it out early on and I was like, that just sounds like a scam. Like, don't do it. I had a few like friends tell me like, yeah, it's a scam. They're always scams. And I was like, I knew it. I told him not to do it and he's like, nah, bro, he lives in our building. This is a different case. It's fine. He had these like watches, like very nice watches. And yeah, that's basically a short snippet. Another short snippet from another guy that we used to be friends with in LA. Again, used to go out to sushi with him, all this stuff. Said to like invest in this NFT project and it's going to yield a return. And then just boom, like moves to Bali, like off. Like,
damn. Now talking about NFTs, that's a space I was heavily in.
Oh, you were heavily in NFTs? Yeah,
I bought so many NFTs. And here's the thing, I'm the hopeless ambition. I'm still losing right now. You know what? I said I'm sinking with the ship. That's it, you know? I'm I'm sinking with whatever I bought. Go check my OpenSea account. I'm not selling. That's it. It's Fair not enough. Worth it anymore. What do you think is going to happen with the NFT market?
So the NFTs will never come back like the way they were. There's no way that a 15-year-old kid in his bedroom is going to be able to launch some project called Crypto Dicks and then it's going to go to the moon and he's going to have $2 million in a wallet and then he's going to go to the club and spend it all. That's never going to happen again. Yeah. I think NFTs are going to eventually get regulated. It's going to be actual businesses coming in and people like to say utility, even though there's no such thing in crypto, but maybe projects that aren't straight memes will come out. Yeah. You could call it. So I think that craze will come back, but I actually think that, so there was shitcoins. So that started in 2021 and then NFTs came about. That was the next trend. Yeah. So what's next now? What's the next bull market? I think maybe the metaverse could be a thing. I think the next thing is going to be ENS. So that's basically an NFT. You're familiar with ENS?
I know the names that they have,
Ethereum name service. So yeah, Mo.eth. If you want to get Mo.eth right now, maybe it's like probably thousands of dollars.
People are trying to sell me them actually. Not mine exactly, but someone like messaged me about it a few days ago.
You have people that are selling ENS names. Give them to me. I'm basically like an ENS whale. I'm like one of the biggest ENS holders.
You have all the names.
I have all the names in Arabic. I have all the names in Hebrew. I have a bunch of Holy Grail names in English. I have English first names. I have companies like Lakers.eth, football team names, hotel names. I spent a lot of time registering names, but also a lot of money buying like Holy Grail names. And I think, again, if ENS could go to zero, like this could all just be for nothing, but whatever. I've already made my money with it and it's just a cool public identity. They have to implement a few things for it to be the future. But if you think about it, .com names back in 1990s, everyone was like, what are you going to use these for? Well, Amazon.eth today would be going for millions of dollars. Yeah. Billions probably. So if a company ever wants to payment process in the future through crypto, or I bought like Epic.eth. So Epic Games is entering Web3 and I got on a call with them and I was like, yo, I'm offering this name. You want to buy it? And they're like, So I bought it for 25 ETH. That's like 50K. But I told them 500 ETH and they were like, okay, interesting. Like we're not opposed. Let us just research it a bit. If ENS ever does catch on, Epic Games is going to come back to me and hit me up and I'm gonna be like, sorry, it's 1,000 ETH now. Like anyways, but yeah, I mean, it's just your public identity, and in the future, companies might start to use it. So if you think Ethereum is going to make it, then that's great. Now, there's a bunch of different services, like there's ordinal names, there's .world names, and there's a bunch of them, like there's .com, .net. So yeah, that's the thing. But ENS is the only one with the secondary market right now because it takes years and it takes millions of name registrations for you to have that secondary market. So things are
that's the only one that really made it and it's expanded. It's there.
I bought a domain name for 50K, like ETH name called Epic. Like it's just stupid. I bought some pretty other cool names, or floor price of numbers right now, basically like a 3-digit number, like 012 is going for, I think it's like 10 ETH or 20.
What's the most expensive ETH name that's been sold?
Porno.eth got sold for 300 ETH in the summer.
Wow.
Amazon.eth got a $1 million offer, but they didn't sell it. Patriots.eth, Patriots bought it for 75 ETH. So it's already like a secondary market, but 000.eth sold for a couple hundred ETH. That's like one of the best names you can get, is because like it has to be 3 digits. Or 3 letters. Or emojis actually became big. So I have emojis now.
Oh,
like I'll have love emoji.eth, or like guy in a wheelchair.eth, like guy in a laptop.eth.
Like that's the actual full name.
Yeah. Like I got one for like me and my girlfriend, because she's Persian. I got like white guy, love emoji, Persian girl.eth. Like the emojis, like it's just funny emojis like that. Like, I don't know, like I actually started registering a lot of city names. So like flag emoji city. So like Dubai flag, UAE, or like gay flag LA, or like whatever it is. Like I thought of everything. So,
actually, I want to go back a little because I never asked this. So you started with the real money on TikTok.
Yeah.
Why did you stop?
I honestly just off in LA and just was being a degenerate. And I just didn't, like, I didn't realize then, I've realized now, but I didn't realize the importance of social media. So I just kind of just stopped, enjoyed my life in LA, was making money doing other things that weren't social media related. Like I started investing in things. I started exploring other industries. And then one day I like went on my TikTok and it was just banned. And I was like, all right. And I tried to get it back and I couldn't figure it out. So I was just like, whatever, GG. So I never really did any social media until a few months ago, when I was like, okay, we live in an attention economy. When someone with a social media following walks in the room, are they more valuable than that guy that has 100 mil? Like money can get you so far, but I realized that social media, it gives you a lot of value as well. So
100%. Like I feel like you could be in a room with like
a billionaire,
and then let's say, for example, a KSI will walk in. It's like, oh, everyone knows him, but like, who's the billionaire? Like right now, right before this, actually, I was in a crypto event, and the CEO or the owner of the company, which is like valued at 10 billion, was there.
Yeah.
No one knew who he is.
Yeah.
$10 billion.
It's fine if you don't want people to know that, but I think there's immense value in people knowing who you are. There's people that can even further their business. And I'm trying to do a few things with social media. And basically in the future is whoever can use their iPhone the best. If you can figure out how to use this little device in your pocket the best and use it to your advantage, that's the future generation that's going to lead the world, not the people that invest in real estate in a certain area or make all this money. Because billionaires probably, like, they could try for months and they can never get big on social media. You could spend $1 billion. Yeah. That's the one beautiful thing of social media, is it's like a market economy. Like if people like you, you'll blow up. If they don't like you and you're boring, you're not going to blow up.
And I feel like that whole, like, I think to be the most influential or powerful, I think you need to be on social media. Like I think Elon Musk is the person that really understood. Like you had billionaires, no interest. Jeff Bezos, I don't want to be on social media. Mark Zuckerberg. Well, nowadays they're starting their social medias, but like Elon Musk, I think he really got it, and he knew how much more he could level up his businesses. I mean, he went and spent like 50 billion on Twitter.
Yeah, genius.
I think he's the only one, because obviously people make money and like, all right, you know what? I don't need to be on camera. I don't need to show myself. And I feel like that's just an insecurity where it's like, what if I say something wrong and it affects my 100 million?
Oh, it's cope, because here's how I see everything in life. Why not do it and then decide, okay, I don't want to be on social media. Why not get huge and be the most famous person on earth? And then you can say, social media is not really all that. I'm going to go live on an island. But no one says that. Same with money. All these people talking about, oh, money doesn't matter and you can sit and work your job and you'll be happy. But those people don't have money. So why would you listen to someone tell you that money's not important that doesn't have money?
And has never had money.
A billionaire would tell you, yeah, fuck, you don't need money. It's fine. Just go work your job. So I like to always do things first and then I can decide.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm doing, I've been on this, like fully going with this diet, and it's pretty autistic and it's just completely nuts. Like if I said some things on camera, you'd be like, this guy's a weirdo. But I'm doing this diet stuff. Basically the guy that founded this diet was killed by the CIA. Like it's some crazy stuff. I could talk about it a little bit, but
what's the diet?
It's kind of like the primal diet in a way. Like you've ever seen like Liver King or any of those guys, like, yeah, they eat the raw meat, but it's a bit different than that. Like everyone does it wrong. But there's this guy named, I won't even name him. I don't want like the CIA to come after me, but he was basically killed by the CIA. And it's a pretty crazy thing. And it could be completely like, my friend has been doing it for years and he's like the healthiest man alive. And he tells me, he's like, bro, just stick with it. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to do it for 6 months. And then in 6 months, I'm going to decide if I want to never do it again. Yeah. But like, I hate it right now and it sucks. But he said in 6 months, you'll see and you'll never, it's like taking the red pill. Like you'll never go back. So that's how I see things in life. I want to do something first and then decide I'm going to make a bunch of money. I'm going to become as rich as I possibly can. And then I'll sit back and be like, okay, should I be working? I want to become as famous as possible, have as much influence as possible so I can invest in things that outlive me, because money's great and all, but I want to actually build something that outlives me. That's the whole point of life. And influence does that. So I'm going to do all these things first and then I'll sit back and be like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, at least then you can decide for yourself. And I feel like everyone's different. Like a lot of people watch social media as well and they always try and get their answers from someone else. Live your own life.
Yeah. And a lot of those people are idiots behind the cameras anyways. So.
Yeah, you like literally guys, like even me, like if I tell you to do something, that's just what I want to do. It doesn't mean you want to do the same, you know? Like everyone has their own interests. Stop trying to look for other people's opinions on how you should live your life. If everyone listened to other people, there'd never be that next special person, you know?
That's why I think almost, it's kind of a controversial opinion, but almost mentorship is stupid in a way. Like, why are you going to listen to somebody? A lot of people just look at somebody that made a lot of money. So great, like let that person be my mentor. But we're living in a different age and making money 30, 40, 50 years ago. Like I met all these guys in LA and they made a ton of money because they invested in real estate 50 years ago when LA was like nothing.
Yeah.
So their life is completely different, and all the things they've ever learned and taught and everything about money has nothing to do with my current life. So I wouldn't necessarily use them as a mentor. I have other mentors and I listen to people because their life is so similar to me. So you're probably better off finding someone that's around your age that has succeeded in your particular field or wherever you're trying to go, and then get from them. But a lot of people try to find a mentor online or something like that when this person like is completely different than what you're trying to do or whatever it is, or they made their money in a completely different way. Like I would never listen to someone on real estate tell me anything about money because I'm never going to do real estate.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Also, like, I think people have like, I think my friend calls it the shiny object syndrome or whatever. It's like, and that's something that even me, I made a mistake in. Like, crypto is booming, great, I bought whatever. But then like I was seeing all these other crypto millionaires. What do you do? Affiliate marketing. I mean, I have millions of followers. That means I can do it better than you, right? And then I realized like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit there every day and making a video about charts, you know, like that's not me. I just can't do it. I can't sit there and act interested with charts. But I feel like if I just, and that's a mistake I've made, I think other people, like just figure out what you want to do and trust me, you can do really well in it. Like stop looking like, okay, like right now there's a ton of money in crypto. But if you want to be the next esport gamer, there's still a lot of money there. Even if there's not necessarily that one person you can look up to. Look at Tiger Woods, billionaire in golf, you know? I think that's the thing. You just need to stick to what you want to do and just go all out at that, you know?
Yeah. If you basically, at the end of the week, if you sit down and you're like, okay, someone asks you, what'd you do for the week? And you say, I don't know. You should be able to have laser focus and tell them exactly what you did. A lot of people are trying to focus on this thing and do this thing here. You just have to know exactly what you want to do and go ham with it. Like you just have to hustle and go crazy with it. A lot of people are all over the place and they're trying to act like, well, I should delegate this task here. Like what? You have $30 to your name. Why are you trying to delegate tasks? Just sit down, do your thing, focus. Like if something's not important, it's not important. If you have to feed your grandma and she's going to die, that's obviously important. You're going to remember to do that. But if you have to write something for some school class and you put it off to the end of the week, that task is obviously not that important. So you know what's important and you know what's not important, but people just don't actually think about it. They just like, if you're not doing it, it's not important, so don't do it. At the end of the week, you should be able to sit down and say exactly what you did. But a lot of people are just sitting here and just mentally masturbating, thinking of this and writing down their 5 goals and doing this semen retention and going in the shower that's cold. And like, it's all just bullshit. Like just,
I want to talk about that actually, because obviously nowadays you see a lot of life coaches that say go monk mode and
stupidest thing, especially semen retention. I think the more semen you have in your body, the gayer you are. Like that's like saying if I jizz, then I'm gonna be low in energy. What kind of man are you? No, it's just gay that you're not jizzing. Just
one of my friends that we both know is doing this. And I tell him, bro, like you're on his podcast. Well, like, bro, just do it.
It's just super simple. The more jizz that's in your body, the gayer you are. Like just think like you should every day. Like you just. It's actually whatever. We don't have to talk about jizz in the podcast, but I think like the whole monk mode thing is just stupid, and semen retention, and do your stuff for the day. Realistically, what do you actually have to do for the day? It's not that much stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can hustle and you can do it in maybe 6 to 8 hours if you're actually successful at working and sitting down and not being a total ADHD idiot. But after that, just enjoy your life. You don't have to go in some monk mode. And like, I don't trust people that go into saunas or take cold showers. Like, what is that? Like, it's bullshit.
Unless you're like trying to get ready for a camp or a fight. Okay, I get cold showers or whatever. But yeah, apart from that, even when it comes to like, for example, I don't know, you tell me your opinion, but like,
baths.
You know when they say like, oh, you need to read a book a week to become successful. I hate reading. I just don't like it.
I don't believe in reading. I think books are a scam because you can't learn how to play the piano from reading a book on how to play the piano. You learn from playing the piano.
Yeah.
So if I want to make money, I can't read for years about making money and make $0. The only way to learn is I have to go make money, get scammed, do this, figure out this, make money this week. And then you have more of an understanding of money than someone that's been reading about it for 10 years. So you could research it, great. Spend a day researching it. But after
fine. Read one book. Just not this, I need to read a book a week or I need to read a book every 5 days. All right, if there's one really good book that might have a bit of advice on how to, I don't know, scale your business, great. But like this whole, like just putting it into your head that I have to do this to be successful.
Well, understand why this stuff came about. If you critically think, why is this thumbnail title on YouTube? Well, this person probably just needed content. So someone made up along the line that you needed to read a book a week, or maybe they want to sell more books or whatever it is. That's not actually helping you. It just came about. Same with cold showers. Who came up with cold showers? They probably just made it up one day. Like some primal guy was just probably sitting and he's like, I'm going to make a video on why you should take a cold shower. And then it just came about. And then everyone needs content. And then it's like out there in the sphere that everyone's like, I should be doing this.
And then a business says, I can make money by selling them cold showers or ice baths.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, the one thing I do like that you'll get the same benefits of the sauna is I take baths, but I bathe in like milk and like clay and shit because I'm a weirdo. Yeah, it's like really good for your skin, and it I bathe in kefir because there's a bunch of bacteria in that, and it like soaks. See, I'm a weirdo, but baths are actually quite good for you. Like
you shower with
your
milk.
Lymphatic system moving, and no, not shower. Like it's just a bath, like a hot bath. Like I'm literally going to France next week with my friend. We both do the diet just to go and sit in the hot springs because they're super, super good for your body. Like no one talks about baths. Like saunas are stupid because it doesn't actually do anything because it's dry saunas. Like you need bath and you can work. Like I'm sitting in the bath. I got my laptop. I'm doing my thing. I'll sit there for like 4 hours sometimes. The longer, the better. But like, yeah, I'm like detoxing right now and fixing my health. So I have to sit in the bath for as long as I possibly can.
Now, obviously, a few questions I want to wrap up with. What's your advice to people watching this that actually do want to make it, you know? A realistic approach, because most people try and sell people things, you know? As in, if there was like, imagine it's your younger self watching this, what would that one piece of advice that you would actually give yourself be?
I mean, number one, some people are just born with it. So some people are just born with this competitive edge. Like some people, they're just, I'd say 50% of the population is just destined to fail. They have no motivation, whatever, and their genes are just weak and they're going to die off. The other 50% has a chance. And like, you have to be one of those guys that from birth, you were like super competitive. Like as a kid, like I could not lose. Like I think right now, everyone's like, why don't you just want to relax and go on the beach and do your thing? I'm like, no, I want to take over every industry. Anybody that's my competition, I think like, I hope they get sick and their wife leaves them and they drive off a cliff or something. I'm like, I want all the money. Like there's no like chilling back on the beach. So that's the number one thing. You have to have that competitive, like laser focused drive. I want to own the whole world. So that's the first thing. The second thing is developing that internal voice, because everything is just bullshit. From the age of 0, you're programmed a certain way. So you need to be able to take what the world gives you, internalize it, and then actually be able to think for yourself. Because a lot of people get their advice from someone that they think successful or the person that did this, maybe they got lucky, and they don't actually internalize it. So I don't do anything like normal people. Like I don't watch and learn things from certain people. Like obviously everything I'm talking about now, I technically learned from one point. Like I learned English, I learned how to actually speak. I learned about training. I technically learned it somewhere along the line from someone, but I was able to internalize it and put my own twist on it and do it in a better way. So developing internal voice is the most important thing, being able to just sit back and critically think. A lot of people are just blindly like trying to do things and they don't even understand what's going on, and why this thing here. Like there's just so much bullshit out there. If you actually sit back and you think like, why does this thing happen here? Or like so many things are designed. Like it's like the opposite sometimes. Like I don't want to get like too crazy. I don't know if you can get like banned off YouTube for saying certain things, but like just so many examples. Like even like I think like cancer, heart disease, all that stuff's a myth. Like everything we're taught from a young age is just absolute bullshit.
Actually, I want to talk about it because you were talking about getting canceled and stuff, and that's something that I guess I've started thinking about more often. Like I used to make daily videos. That my whole dedication was just videos, YouTube. And I've kind of taken a step back where I still make content, but less of it. And now I'm just like figuring out things outside of social media, because when that whole culture of like, you can suddenly get your whole channel wiped if you're not doing what I guess you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, wait a second, okay, this is great, but
sometimes you got to play by the rules, but yeah, it sucks.
And I do so a lot, but it just kind of became scary. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe I should figure out a way where, I have other things happening. And I actually had, Steve will do it.
Yeah.
I was just in Miami and we did a podcast and he messaged me. He was like, bro, I don't know, upload it if you want, but I'm telling you, they are going to ban you.
Yeah, he got canceled, right? He got kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, I literally have like right now, I have a podcast with him ready, a great freaking podcast. I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, do I post it? I have a podcast.
On Rumble, maybe?
Yeah, but like,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
That's what sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, the cancel. I mean, at the end of the day, you get canceled. Like
I even have a house tour with him. We did like his whole penthouse tour with the dine. He's like, bro, like we have 2 good videos that we spent time recording. I'm like,
yeah, it's like his face is in the algorithm. Like they just put him in the algorithm. They're like his face banned.
I was wondering like maybe I can just put like in the title like unknown man podcast.
I wonder if there's a way to ask like YouTube, hey, like before you post the video, why get banned? Could you check this over?
But here's the thing, I did upload one with him. Like my first podcast was with him and 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. But I feel like it was...
How long ago was it?
That was like when he just got banned. So I feel like it was very fresh. But I feel like now his relationship...
Yeah, you probably got to really watch what you say. And who knows, maybe someday like there's so many things I could talk about on YouTube, but I'm like a bit crazy sometimes. Like I have some crazy conspiracy theories. I don't even know what's allowed and what's not because I'm taking my YouTube serious now. I think this week I'm going to start like fully posting and stuff. But yeah, I can make crazy videos for hours. We could talk about conspiracy theories or I love Twitter because the other day I made a video about like cancer being a myth and heart disease being a myth and all that stuff being a myth. And Twitter loved it.
What do you mean about being a myth?
Basically, I have a friend right now that's battling cancer and everyone told him to go chemo. Everyone told him to get this X-ray done. Like he's just doing this diet and he's like being cured as we see. Like he's literally gaining weight as a kid, like with severe cancer and doing all this stuff. And well, you just have to think about it. Okay, what is cancer? It's an inability to discard dead cells. So why do people get cancer? Obviously, it's not a myth. Like cancer exists, but why do people get cancer? Because the whole world around you is designed to give you cancer because it's profitable. We can talk about a few things. I don't want to get anything banned off YouTube and why that's there, but it's just stuff like that. Like everything that you're taught since a little kid, like, oh, be afraid you could get this rare disease and like 99.9% of surgery is pointless. 99.9% of diseases shouldn't be there. It's because something along the lines, or maybe you lived in this area with certain radiation and your genetics have humans aren't meant to get any of that stuff.
Yeah. And I want to ask you one more thing. Because obviously you have such a different approach to things. What's your opinion on religion?
Yeah. So the way I see religion is obviously as a whole, it affects the world in real time. So a group of people praying to God is not a bad thing. It is affecting the world. So technically God does exist because, okay, I'm not going to steal my little sister's candy. That's how I used to be when I was younger because God's watching. Well, that just affected the world in real time. So God is technically real in that sense as an idea. So that's no matter what, if anybody wants to argue about religion, whatever it is real as an idea and it does affect the world in real time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But as a whole, yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of being guided through life. Like I'm still young, so I haven't necessarily made up my mind. I have some friends that have converted to Islam. My girlfriend's Muslim, so I'm around a lot of people in Dubai too.
Are you yourself, like, do you follow any religion?
I was born Catholic, but I have looked into other religions, I would say, and I am interested in a few, and it's not out of the question that I could convert someday to something. But for the time being right now, I'm young, and I think no matter what, religion is a positive impact on the world, and there's nothing wrong with it. And it's all just one big circle. Same with Republicans, Democrats, all of it. It's all just everyone that argues. At the end of the day, it's just one big circle.
Yeah, like me, my take is also like, I'm not gonna say I'm the most religious person ever. I'm Muslim, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I do believe in a higher power. Like, I don't think we just randomly spawned here. But as I said, I just don't get into like I don't like the political side of or
the nitty gritty questions that technically no one knows. So what's the point of arguing about it?
Or yeah, exactly, arguing about it. And I remember growing up and like, I don't know if you know Islam and being a Muslim. There's like Shia and Sunni. Yeah. There's like two. I don't really know the difference. I'm gonna be completely honest. And people would argue about it. I'm like, listen, are we supposed to be one? Like, isn't the point of religion peace? So if we're sitting there, like, literally there's arguments happening about who's right and who's wrong. I'm like, this is literally against the point of religion. Yeah. So I believe in a higher power. I believe be a good person. Good comes when you do good. And that's kind of where my standpoint has always been, you know? But unfortunately, and it's something that upsets me is I feel like even then religion gets used for people liking you, and the more you act like, I see
or people, attention or things online. Or,
bro, it genuinely, like, I hate it. You know why? Like, I live a type of life, like, I show what I do. If I ever go out, if I'm in a club or in a party, if I happen to be there because a celebrity's there and I'm trying to make a vlog, I'll post it. I'm not gonna hide, you know.
Yeah.
But I know literally I've been around people that, like, obviously because they're Muslim or Christian or whatever the religion, they don't want to be seen in a certain place because that might be a bad image for them, you know. And these same people are actually there not because I might be there for a certain reason, but they're there even for a worse reason.
Yeah.
They're hiding it, and then online they're just like, you know, this really nice image, and in my head I get the shit because I'm just honest. You know. And sometimes you question, man, like, man, it bothers you, you know. But I do believe, end of the day, anyways, religion is not something, as in, all right, if you're using it for an image, great, but it's between you and that higher power. You know, if you believe in God, then it's between you and God. You know, it's not really like, I don't need to look like I'm amazing, you know? And like, same things, like, you see people like online where it's like, they're posting every day where they're praying and stuff, and then realistically, their private close friend stories, they're doing the exact opposite, you know?
It's funny because now everyone's talking about coming to Dubai to get away from the degeneracy in America or Canada or whatever it is, and then they're just at some hotel with a hooker. Like, it's just like, that's just all the degenerates. And all the degenerates move from America to act like they weren't degenerate, and then they come to Dubai and they just drink and smoke.
Sometimes I don't want them to, like, stay there, keep here, like, keep it nice here, you know? It's nice, just stay
Dubai
over
is definitely less degenerate. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just...
But it's kind of like that in every sense. I feel like you follow people that, like, and I always say this, I feel like you follow the people that they're the flashiest online, like money, 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 money. And then they're actually like, they don't have the money. And the ones that are quieter about it, they're the ones with like the real money, you know?
Sometimes.
So it depends. Unless your business is, because obviously there's a part of business where it's like, let's say Tate, for example, Andrew Tate. He had to show money to attract more money because then people would take it more seriously. But I'm talking about like these personal people that have no business with social media.
And it's just mindset too. Like I've always said, you're only as rich as you spend. It's actually crazy. I think being cheap makes no sense. I don't understand how some people don't spend money. So you could, let's just say Jim makes $100,000 a month and Joe makes $1 million a month, but Jim spends $100,000 a month and Joe only spends $10,000 a month. Who's actually richer?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who is actually richer? What are you doing with your money? But what if you put it in the 401k and invest it for what future? You could drive off the cliff tomorrow and die. Like, who knows? So the whole point of money, it's like, I think of it like little soldiers. Like even when I bought a gumball for 25 cents 10 years ago, like that was money spent in the atmosphere, and it's like out there working for me. Like I try to spend my money to then make more money. There's no such thing as a bad purchase, honestly. Even getting scammed, like my friend getting scammed from that one guy for a couple $100K. He then got in a group chat with other guys that got scammed with him. And then they all became friends. They're all super successful guys. And then they started doing business together, and then he makes a bunch of money. So was spending that $300K getting scammed actually bad, or did he make $1 million in return because he met some guy that got scammed also? So there's no such thing as a bad purchase necessarily. It's just little soldiers don't hold on to your money. It's like water. You gotta let it flow. Don't let it get stagnant and not use it. Like, I'm very anti being cheap and invest for a 401k, and in 25 years you might have enough to buy a goat, and like, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, I remember the first money I ever made on YouTube social media. I went and bought a Ferrari, like everything. That was my entire, and that was the best investment ever.
when I was making money and I moved to LA, like, I was just like, I didn't even know how much a Lambo cost, and I literally checked it up one day. The next day I asked a guy where I could get a Lambo, and then the third day I bought my Lambo.
Yeah,
it's just, I literally, that's all I did, because I was just like, if you have the money. I even had a friend ask me, he didn't listen to me. He was asking me, he's like, I want to buy a G-Wagon. I'm like, do you have the money to buy a G-Wagon? He's like, yeah. I was like, so why not just buy it? He's
Still
like,
buy the G-Wagon.
He's like, I don't know. Like, and then he bought like an AMG, and he's like, I don't really like it that much. I'm like, just buy it. Like, what's the worst that happens? You spend all of your money on the G-Wagon and you never make money again. Well, at least you bought the G-Wagon, because now you have a G-Wagon and you have no money, versus before you would never make money again. You didn't have a G-Wagon. So just, like, it's just not possible. If you spend that money, you're gonna.
I'll tell you something funny I used to do. And talking about your friend getting scammed, and this is not me telling anyone to do this. Like, this is bad, all right?
He's telling you how to scam everyone, all right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is kind of like, this was actually me. Like, when I was younger, I also had like a different way of thinking. So I used to play a game. I don't know. It was called RuneScape.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
So I used to play a game called RuneScape, and like, all the scammers were making crazy money.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are they doing it? You know, like, how are they scamming you for so much money? So my thing was like, all right, you know, I have an idea. I am going to get scammed. And in the procedure of getting scammed, I'm going to learn how they scammed me. So make a new account, load up enough money for them to be interested in me, to scam me, right? And just like write down every step of the scam. Okay, do this. And it's like, now I know how they scam me.
That'd be a good YouTube video.
Yeah. You know, so like, here's the thing. The other day I got a phone call from one of these scammers, you know, and I remembered what I used to do when I was younger. I was like, man, should I do this? Like, I was about to just get a pen and paper out, like write down what this guy's telling me on the phone. Like, but I was like, you know what? Because at the end of the day, I still believe wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
And I remember when I used to play this game, like, I can't lie, I scammed. Like, guys, don't take this out of context. I'm going to get clipped up like, I scammed, I'm a scammer. No, but I was young, you know, I'm playing a game, it's virtual, it's not like I didn't feel like it's real, you know? And I remember like the money just became addictive. Like, if on the game, if you worked, you could make like $1 million a day, let's say. But if you scammed on the game, you could make 50 million a day, 100 million. And I was like a little, like, I made so much money. I was a RuneScape scammer. I made so much money. I was selling RuneScape money for real money.
Hey, but that means you're smart at least. Like, you know, like.
So you can turn any bad, like, if you're someone that just got scammed, and like, I'm not saying this is good, you know what I mean? You could just turn it into a good.
So basically, yeah, if you're on RuneScape, you're probably scammed by Mo. That's good to know.
Yeah, I remember.
You could turn any negative into positive.
That's the mindset. I
always think about it like, oh, this happened right there, but then I can use this on that, or whatever it is. Like, I always turn negative into positive. I figure a way how to make it positive. Like, what was the other night? I was going to bowling at the Atlantis, and then I was so pissed that it didn't happen. So like, we just went to Topgolf instead, and then I met this guy there and like had some crazy insane conversation. So I'm like, oh, I'm so glad like I couldn't go bowling at Atlantis.
Yeah,
like, something always good happens from the negative. Like, I'm trying to think of examples where I've just gotten scammed and it's just turned out positive. Or I've met a person or one night I didn't want to go out to the club and I was like so grumpy and I was like, I don't want to go to the club. And then I met one person, did business with him. Like, everyone would be like, well, why'd you go to the club and spend 10K? That's a stupid investment. Well, I feel like
you can turn everything bad into good, as long as, if you're in your head, you just say like, look, no matter what, like, okay, I'm doing this thing that I don't really want to do, but let's just make the most out of it right now. Like, even me, I've had days where
mindset.
For example, met with, like, my thing is YouTube, right? But like, TikTokers messaged me, I was just in the mood to reply, and now they're planning a TikTok with me. And I, like, in my head, sometimes, like, if I'm spending 2 hours to make one TikTok, it's a waste of time. But obviously, I've promised this person that I'll make a TikTok. But even then, sometimes good things come out of it. They might introduce you to a friend. I just had like a TikTok.
Maybe the TikTok gets 50 million views. Like, who knows?
Yeah. Or I even had this TikTok girl come over, and then like she introduced me out to like one of her editors, which makes the craziest videos. So like just those little introductions, because you've taken care of them, they take care of you. Like, Because I feel like if you do good for people, they're always going to like remember that, you know?
Yeah, the world is so crazy. It's all mind. I actually like self-hypnotize myself sometimes because there's no benefit of walking through life thinking certain things. So I'm just crazy sometimes. I'm just like, even some people are asking about motivation. I'm like, what do you mean motivation? You just literally think in your mind or like, be motivated, boom, done.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll just be like, the sun gives me motivation. Like now I believe that. So when I look at the sun, I'm like, or I was even arguing with my friends the other day. They're like, we were talking about how long we're going to live, whatever. And I was like, I probably won't die. Like somehow AI will come out. I'm not going to die someday, whatever. They're like, yes, you will. And I'm like, I've never died before. But like, but like if there's no benefit of your mind of thinking like, damn, I'm going to die someday. Like, what's the point of thinking that? I'm just like, I'll figure it out. Like I'm going to live forever. I'm going to figure something out. Or like, you just have to like brainwash yourself into believing certain things. I'm like a bit crazy sometimes. Like, I just think certain things. And it just doesn't matter because like, you just have to think.
Who's the craziest person you've met?
It's like as crazy as me.
Who's someone that you're like, whoa.
That like the internet would know?
Like you're like, you met this guy like, yo, I thought I was crazy. This guy's
probably my friend that honestly got me into the diet. He's like not like crazy in like a sense, but like some of the things he does is just weird as.
I actually want to say, I know I keep saying it's the last thing I'll talk about, and it's just the conversation's so great. AI. Obviously, recently AI's come out. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, AI! It's gonna take over. iRobot. We're gonna die." What's your opinion on AI?
Thing is, who knows like what's gonna happen with AI?
Yeah.
But obviously, there'll be businesses built out in the future. I have friends right now building multi-billion-dollar companies. Some of them, I'm not gonna say what it is on camera, but some of it is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, and the infrastructure's already there, and companies are already doing this AI stuff.
Yeah.
Like some governments are already doing this AI stuff. I won't say which governments, but like it's already out there. So it's already happening, and it probably will be a big wave. Like, you know, social media was the past couple of years, but there's going to be an infrastructure of AI where you can make tons and tons of money. So it obviously is going to be the future, but who really knows? Cause it's like asking someone, what do you think about the internet in 2005? They were probably like, well, yeah, like the Nintendo DS and my iPod Touch is going to like, you just don't know what the future is going to be. They didn't know there was going to be 10-year-old kids twerking on TikTok. Like no one could foresee that.
Yeah. You think there'll ever be like an AI coin, something? I don't know, like some sort of coin.
It's already been done.
Yeah.
Even like there's like a GBT coin. Like there's like 10 of them. There's one last night that launched Cat GBT. Like there's just like
there should be a coin which uses its own fund to buy other coins and just like somehow expand. And that coin is like a fund of other coins or something.
There's some blockchain stuff that is happening with AI right now. Like I don't want to talk about it on camera, but there's some pretty crazy stuff I can tell you about. One of my friend's business off camera. There's nuts stuff coming with AI. Yeah. But I just think in the present, like, I don't know what's going to happen in 5. Some people are so caught up in their mind because there's so many things that could happen in a single day. There's so many things that could happen in the future. Like I could have woke up this morning and been like, you know what? Fuck Mo. I'm going to text him and tell him to f off. And I'm going to text everyone in my contact to f off. Yeah. And then I'm going to fly to Italy and marry an Italian wife. And then my kids will be Italian. And then I'll go to the Maldives and get captured by anything could happen. And a lot of people get in mental paralyzation because they're just thinking about all this stuff when it's just like, chill.
Relax.
Who knows what can happen? Like, yeah, that thing can happen there. That thing can happen there. It doesn't matter. Just chill.
All right.
People getting paralyzed.
This is my final question. What's your goals in life now? What are you trying to reach?
So, like the simple answer, if in one sentence, is I want to do things that are going to outlive me. I want to invest in things that are going to outlive me. So there's a whole long-term plan for that, but I'm not much for planning. I just kind of do my thing. I think the easiest way to get there is two things that everyone should want to get in life, and anybody that says they don't is just coping, is money, influence. So that's it. So those are the goals. Just get money and influence
and don't be cheap.
Different ways. And don't be cheap. Enjoy. At the end of the day, enjoy your life. Like when you're sitting, even just after this, like, you know, what is it? Is this Saturday? I don't even know. Yeah. It's like after this, I'm going to go out with some buddies, have a nice dinner and just like enjoy. Like you sit there, eating the beautiful raw meat, or you're sitting, riding your bike, going home from work or whatever it is, just enjoy. At the end of the day, like work is great and all, but you still got to enjoy your life.
You said you're in a relationship right now. Can we talk about it?
Sure.
I got a look right now. In terms of relationships, are you the monogamous type guy? Do you believe in like one partner, multiple partners?
No. I mean, basically, I can do whatever I want, and she doesn't like it, she can kick rocks barefoot. Like I've already had like a few situations, but actually, so she's Muslim, so it's kind of like in her culture, and she kind of understood it in the beginning. And when I was just kind of being a degenerate. Like I'll go ahead and speak on it a little bit. In this last summer, when I was being like an idiot in LA, I had like, making myself in trouble. Some of these girls are probably gonna watch this, be like, "What the fuck?" I had like 9 girlfriends. Like legit, I was taking the red pill thing to like the next level.
9 girlfriends.
Like I couldn't even count. Like I had like a girlfriend, or I think I'd call them like side chick. I had like little categories for all of them. Like I thought it was so cool. Like I had like 9 girls that thought like I was their boyfriend, which I was, and I still loved them, and like I had a good time with them. But then like I basically gave it all up in like the fall, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like, this is such a waste of time, and I'm definitely not going to marry that girl. So why do I give a shit? And like, I'm not going to have kids with her. And like, now it's just to the point where like, yeah, like I'm just kind of doing my thing. I have a strong female to support me. Yeah, I'm back to 1, but sometimes I get bored.
I mean, Floyd Mayweather said,
I'm in the mood for Chinese one night and Italian the next night, and then I go back to Persian.
Floyd Mayweather said 1 is closer to 0. So you'd rather have 2 because then you can go to 1.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, you gotta, the whole goal for me is to have children that aren't retarded. So I have to have a wife that emulates that. But I mean, who knows? There could be multiple ovens to bake the bread. I don't know. I'm only 22. But for right now, I
look, my philosophy, honestly, though, in relationship stuff, like I'm more like I just want 1. The only reason is I kind of see things like the whole like, if I don't like it, they don't like it. You know what I mean? So if like, I know I cannot be with a girl if they're even trying to talk to someone else. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
But you know, like, but I feel like it has to be both sided in that case.
Why?
I mean, it's great to say why, but I feel like you can find that one person that really you do connect with like fully, and you're just like, would you want to mess it up? You know, if you know that person.
Yeah,
like,
but if she's fine with it, then why not?
But I think they'll only be fine if they're not really the one, you know?
See, so
if they're not really, look, no girl, if they really have great value and they're really looking out for you in their best way, they cannot give you 100% and be fine with it.
Obviously, they're not fine with it, but they deal with it. To stay with you.
But would you you deal with it? I mean, if you're gonna deal with it,
of course not.
Exactly.
If I was, like, I think we have to be careful here because it's two completely different things. A guy going out and sleeping with a bunch of girls and then going back to his wife, or a girl going out and sleeping with a bunch of guys. Like, it's completely different. Even just as far as we want to talk about science, everyone talks about science goes, a female is meant to have one man impregnate her, stay with the children, raise them, whatever it is. If you want to look at mammals in the wild, you can see that. Yeah. And the male's job is to go out and jizz everywhere and just do his thing. So if you want to talk it scientifically, then sure. So it is completely different.
I think it's fine as long as the girl kind of knows as well. Like, that's also one more thing.
The number one thing I always tell, like, a lot of these red pill guys want to be all like sneak, just don't lie to your girl.
Exactly.
So like, I actually even told my girl, like, when we first started dating, I was dating these other girls, and like, she knows now that I had like 9 girlfriends at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, she didn't really know, but in the beginning, she was kind of like, because we weren't as serious, she was like, yeah, like, do your thing, but I don't want you like dating other girls. I want you to only emotionally be attached to me and only sleep next to me. Like, if you're out, like it's just embarrassing. Like, I don't want that. I don't want you dating other girls. But if you want to fuck some girl and you're in the Maldives or whatever the fuck it is, like, sure, do your thing, or you're on vacation in Mexico. No, she's just like, just tell me about it. Like, there's been instances where I'm just like, yeah, I fucked that bitch last night. She's like, yeah, nice. And then it's like, whatever.
High five.
But now I'm at the point where it's like, I'm done with like all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you're bored
of it. Because I choose to be with her and I'm just chilling. But who knows? Maybe in 3 months, I'm like, yeah, I want to go have 9 more girlfriends. And if she doesn't like it, then, I mean, at the end of the day, it's my life. Like, you know, I'm going to sit on my deathbed if I do die 80 years old and be like, damn, I wish I was 20 again. And I wish I like did all those random things with all those random girls. Like, you just got to get it out of your system and then you can sit back. So it's like I said before, like, at least do it and then decide. So I did all that. And now I'm like, now I just want to chill with my girlfriend. She, you know, helps me with some stuff. She's nice, you know, gives me a massage and all that. Yeah. Just relax. She's here in Dubai right now. Maybe she'll come to dinner tonight, and it's just chill. But yeah.
No, I like the approach of just like living your life. Like, I feel like a lot of times we live in these barriers that we put on ourselves because of fear or we're scared. Like, and especially in the relationships,
says things, you know.
Yeah, in the relationship sense, I feel like a lot of people like are scared to do things because there's restrictions on them. But obviously, if there's clarity, do what you like. You know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, everyone can do whatever they want. And even if, like, let's say a girl doesn't care at all that her husband is out, whatever, that's their prerogative. But if a girl does, like, let's say my girl like really, really hated it and like it would hurt her so much if I ever like slept with some random hoe, then maybe I wouldn't do it because I don't want to hurt my girl. But if they're just like, I know you're a guy, I know you're young, just please tell me, don't ever have a girlfriend, boom. Like, you know, you can always make compromises, but every relationship is different. But you're right. Maybe some girls, they don't care about it and they act like they don't care. Maybe they don't really like you, but who knows?
Do you have any idols you look up to, or?
I don't necessarily look up to people, but there's about 3 people that have changed the trajectory of my life. 2 people I'd call like a mentor per se. They're older guys, and one of them's like a millionaire, very, very smart, the smartest guy I ever met, very, very rich. And then another one, he's about like 30 and he's been through like a similar path to mine, super smart, super critical thinker. And then there's another guy that's on the internet that I learned a lot from, very, very famous, but he hates me. So
who's that guy?
I won't say it on the podcast because I would never talk bad about someone that
I feel like I know.
I would never talk bad about a mentor that has helped me in any capacity. But yeah, he's very famous. I'm sure everybody would know.
I feel like I know. Like
obviously,
does he kind of look like you, so, like kind of style wise?
No, not really.
Okay.
Let's just say the most famous man alive.
Oh, okay. Actually, a funny story. If we're talking about the same guy, the late Mr. Late. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that story later. What was I gonna say? Now you mentioned one thing which I can't not ask about. You were talking about, you know, how sports and wearing shirts with other guys' names on them. Yeah. Now I was recently in Miami, and a guy I met there, which we became friends, and this guy like very rich, Bugattis and penthouses. I really still didn't understand how he made his money. Like, he said something about trading, but it just seemed like too much money. You know, like the guy had like
almost
a crazy,
likely like some type of scam type of thing.
I don't know,
which is fine. Like, I actually don't knock people that scam. At least they're smart and they're making.
Yeah, if you made tons of money, good on you.
Just don't fuck over your friends and don't go to jail. Like, other than that,
so yeah, he had crazy amount of money, but he was also saying like, I don't like sporting events. He's like, why the hell am I sitting there on a date with a girl with another man's name on my back? And that's something I never thought about, because I like, not to say that I was ever a huge sports fan, but like I never saw anything wrong with it until recently when someone questions your way of thinking, you're like, wait a second, why am I admiring someone else? Because I love Cristiano Ronaldo. I still love his work. But then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yo, why do I love someone else so much?
Yeah, some people are like obsessed with someone else, or like, I don't like necessarily look up to anybody. Like, I'm like my own person. Yeah. Like, or people like, oh, you're acting like I'm my own guy. And yeah, a lot of people, they have like idols, or they're wearing the smallest things, like you said, make you think. Like, I'm talking about like music being a scam, and everyone's like, what? That's crazy. But if you really think about it, you're like, wait, why am I watching this movie of like Superman that's a woman? Like,
why am I paying for this? Yeah.
Why am I at a sporting, or why am I at a concert where everyone's on Molly throwing up on each other? Like, do I actually like this? Or like,
I hate going out.
I hate music and concert. I feel like the only way that you would enjoy music is if you're on drugs all the time, because when you listen to music, a little bit of dopamine comes out. But when you're on Molly and you're smoking weed all the time, I feel like more dopamine. I've never done drugs, so I don't know what it would feel like. But it seems like every guy that listens to music 24/7 is like always on drugs or like a stoner. But I can't understand like concerts or sporting events. I always thought I was weird as a little kid, because everyone would come in and talk about, like, I'm from Pittsburgh, so the Steelers, the next day people would be crying if they lost in school, or they'd be so excited to go and watch the Steelers game. And I would come in the next day and I'd be like
why are you crying? Yeah, actually, I was at a concert the other day, and I feel like I'm there just to see a friend, you know, like I'm there just because my friend that I know has invited me. I just want to make you happy that I've come. And I'm just like, everyone's like, I'm really forcing myself to be there. I'm like, just like watching my time. Like, at what point have I been nice enough to show up and I can leave?
Well, that's in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Imagine America, like at Vegas, where everyone's just on drugs.
But like, especially like when, you know, like, okay, I get concerts where people sing the words, all right? Like, you're kind of like participating, but it was more like a techno, like, and everyone's
church, you know, like,
I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm like, surely they're either all on drugs, because there's no way you can just like, it's just a beat.
And well, if you look at their face, they're like just like
yeah. And it's like the other half of you're spending money to feel like you're cool. Like, this is not fun. I don't know. That's me.
It's different for everybody too. Like, I have friends that they love sports, or they love the gambling aspect of it, or they really like music, but everyone's different in their own. Like, I'm just a bit
weird
out there. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the same.
Weird.
I'm the same.
Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, yeah, I'm a weirdo, but I have like social awareness. I'm not like sitting there like talking to someone, being like, I know how to communicate, but I do weird shit.
And I feel like that's fine. You know, like a lot of people, if you're sitting there watching this and you think that you're weird, that's good.
You probably are, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, if you sat watching this entire podcast till now, you are definitely 1% of the weirdest people in the entire earth. Like, But that's good.
Well, a lot of the greatest thinkers of all time have been like a bit autistic. So.
Yeah, you cannot not be weird and actually be special. Because if you're normal, you're normal. That's it. And I think that's how I'm going to wrap up the episode, guys. If you made it here, you are one of the most special people on earth. Where can they check you out, by the way?
Yeah, you guys can check me out on Twitter and YouTube. It's at @EarnMayo. So Earn and Mayo. And then on Instagram, it's just @Mayo.
Are you going to do a social media comeback now?
Yeah. So I just started Twitter like a month ago, and I've already been blowing up on there. If you guys check out my Twitter, you'll see I had like one tweet that went like mega viral. And then I'm starting my YouTube this week.
I'm excited. I feel like I got like one of the last.
No, you'll be seeing me like all over in the next.
I feel like
months.
Boom, because like you can sense when someone's about to just blow. Like even when it like the Iman Ghazi Tate type of vibe, you can kind of like feel when someone's about to go into that mode of just
I mean, hopefully I blow up. At the end of the day, I enjoy it too. Like I have a Telegram channel where I literally just go in every day and just talk about random shit. Like I'll be like standing in line and just talk about like, hey, how to make money this way or why this waiter did this. Like I just enjoy it. I like just talking shit. Like,
do you know Luke Belmar?
Yeah.
You kind of remind me of him. He's very also passionate about talking.
Yeah, I met him about a year ago, and I went to the Capital Club thing.
Oh no way. Okay, I've heard about it. I haven't been there yet. Anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap up the episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out my man all over his social medias, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of you online.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.